Good morning, afternoon, evening, MSers. How's it going? All you young MSers, old MSers, guy MSers, girl MSers, all us MSers out there. This is My Life with MS podcast episode where I talk about multiple sclerosis stuff, things that have been sent to me, things related to my issues, and stuff like that. Just give my opinion. Do not take my opinion for your own health. Always talk to your medical staff before you decide to try anything that I may have mentioned or anything like that, or you've heard elsewhere. Always check with your medical staff. If you're here for the comic book stuff, that's not this episode. This is the one episode a week I don't talk MS or don't talk comic book stuff, entertainment, and all that stuff. So this is for the MSers out there. My Monday, My Life with MS episode. Nothing really new medical wise. Well, yeah, there is a little bit. I did get a phone call this last week and was able to get into my eye doctor this past Friday. They had some cancellations, so I took advantage of that. Got in there, did my eye exam, and going over all the stuff with the fuzziness and hard to see and the burning lately, and the eyes getting really bad, and I just have to put hot water compress on them in the morning now, and then I just put my drops in that she gave me, some new drops to try, see how that helps with the dryness and burning and fuzziness of the eyes. These are some new, like, ears ones that I can use as many times as I want every day. So my doctor wants me to do that. But the thing that sucks is, I mean, there was a little sign of a something in this eye last year or a year and a half ago when I went in for my last exam. Now it's covering basically half the eyeball. I have a cataract. That's why I'm having problems seeing, and I'm constantly flashing my eyes, pulling them apart because they're all dry and stuff. Why she gave me the drops. But yeah, the vision problems I've been having and stuff. I got a freaking cataract the size of my pupil, the way it looks in the scans that she showed me. So I'm gonna milk it through the winter, and then probably next year go in and get surgery. And if it gets worse between now and then she's gonna have me go in for surgery earlier. But for now, we're just gonna see what happens, and then I'll plan a surgery next year, I guess. Want to mess with my eye, which I'm not a fan of. Other people touching my eyes, but we'll see what happens. I know my mom, when she had her cataracts removed, I took her to all those appointments. That was a weird noise coming from the kitchen area, but there's nothing on. Never know what's up. Uh, Other than that, the only other issues I've been having a lot of problems with was my right knee's been acting up, and with the convention last week and everything else going on, I just been doing some tree trimming and stuff like that, and with walking on the uneven surfaces with the little divots and stuff that I step in, and I kind of reactivated the extra pain in my right knee, which is my good knee, and it's radiating right into my right hip. So that's not fun. especially when you're trying to get around and do a bunch of stuff that requires stairs and stuff like that. You got enough problems with your gait issues and vertigo just to go up and down them. Not having these damn handrails, I'm getting really sick and tired of that. I really want someone to get in here and do this, but I can't find a freaking worker to save my ass. It's like I'm about ready to call, like, I don't know, some type of disability centers or something and see if they have construction workers that can actually show up to do something. I called my village last week and I asked about putting a wheelchair ramp out front of my house, and I asked how far I'd have to be from the sidewalk, and the guy's like 25 feet because apparently they're going by subdivision rules now. Like 25 feet, you're already in the center of my living room, so like I have to cut half my house off because it's not 25 feet from the sidewalk. That makes no damn sense. In town, I have a small lot. 25 feet takes you to about the center of my lot. So it's like, and then he realized I'm in town in a 1920 house. So he's like, well, just go out your front porch, look to your left, look to your right. Whatever neighbor has the closest thing to the sidewalk, you can match it. My neighbor next door has a fence that's basically a foot from the sidewalk, so that'll work because I don't need to go that far. I'll still be about 3 feet from the sidewalk because I want to come straight, have a flat, then a little angle down into the front part of the house, and then turn 90 degrees and run the ramp to the driveway. So they'll have a good 3 to 5 feet from the sidewalk, if depending on how big we go. But yeah. So hopefully I can get that done. I've had 2 workers look and they're gonna get back to me. Still haven't. Got flies like crazy lately. I don't know if it's just because the leaves are falling off the trees or what, or all the walnuts on the ground. But yeah, there's lots of flies. And the neighbor's got a huge garden growing in their fenced-in yard. I'm sure they use compost and stuff, so that attracts them. But other than that, it's been same old, same old. Just going along, doing whatever we can, and coming up in October is my first appointment in a year and a half. I think it's been since I see my MS neurologist last. We will see how that goes. He's perfect temperature right now. Uh, so I suppose we should set this up with the side by side screens. Okay, it went all right. Sometimes when I do that, it shuts my camera off. I don't. Since I got knee problems and stuff, I got some stuff in here today for that. I figured with my legs and stuff, the lipedema stuff, there's something about that. So let's start it off with some possible causes of our wonderful favorite, one of our probably top 3 favorite things that we gotta deal with. Not really favorite. Annoying things that we have to deal with are our brain fog, our cognitive issues, between our cognitive issues, our pain and tiredness, our gait issues, all that stuff. We're just a mess. But you like to look at different things and see if there's anything new out there. I forgot. Now that I think about it, I forgot to tell my eye doctor. And today it's right here on the side of this eye. It feels like I was punched in the eye. And last week it was on the bottom of this eye. But I don't know what sets that off either. I was going to ask her about it. But of course, because my brain fog, I forgot to mention it. I write stuff down, put it in my phone notes, and Even if I look at them when I'm at the doctor, I still space half of them off. Brain fog. It is a type of cognitive dysfunction characterized by confusion, memory issues, and lack of focus. It's not its own diagnosis, but a symptom of an underlying medical condition. It's a type of cognitive dysfunction involving memory problems, a lack of mental clarity, poor concentration, and inability to focus. Some people also describe it as mental fatigue. Depending on its severity, it can interfere with your work, school, and other daily tasks, but it does not have to be a permanent fixture in your life. Uh, as some people may know, if you actually listen to some of my episodes in the past, I do. The reason I started my whole podcasting platform, and now it's a YouTube platform, a YouTube channel now instead of I stopped doing the audio podcast. Sorry, I'm yawning. Second cup of coffee, and I'm just yawning away. I just can't wake up again today. Woke up to a nice big thunderstorm. So that set my day. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work on doing some YouTube channel videos, and I have to do a live comic book auction tonight on YouTube. So I will be working on getting that all prepped and ready for tonight to make it easier on me. The cat went out for a little bit, and now he's back in. Everything's too wet. It's up in this tunnel. Uh, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I started my podcasting because of my cognitive issues. Really bad in the early days, and it's definitely gotten way better by doing these shows constantly and just constantly having to think and push the brain to its max and try and do the best I can with what I got to deal with. So, thankfully, my wife trimmed my eyebrows finally. I had big old devil horns coming off them, a few long pieces of hair hanging off my sideburns and ears. And now that I think about it, I forgot to tell her about this one. I got another one that grew off the side of my earlobe again. So, there was one on the other side. Got that one. I just think that's so weird that it grows off the side of the ear. And those things grow fast. Uh, Turned into a werewolf. Chupacabra. Bigfoot, big butt. Uh, some causes of brain fog, stress. Stress can get us to overthink and exhaust our brain. Uh, Lack of sleep, which many of us deal with. I'm up depending on how my bladder pills work, I can be up every 20 minutes or I can be up every 3 hours or every 2 hours or hour or whatever. It just decides its own mode of bladder dysfunction that it wants to deal with every night when I go to bed. I can't have a regular routine because of it, which sucks. And then when I get up to go to the bathroom, I come back to bed and then lay there for a good half hour or so trying to fall asleep, and the cat's tucking my feet in, and the wife presses against me, and I'm caught in a furnace between the cat and the wife. Yeah, it's very little sleep that way. It's like you pretty much go on about 4 to 6 hours sleep if you're lucky, if I'm lucky. But otherwise, it's just, yeah, a crapshoot every night. We did buy a new bed when we moved in here, so it's a nice, comfortable bed. But already turning into a sweat bomb. I need the sheet underneath the sheet. Last night, I don't know what the heck was going on. I know the wife with her hot flashes going on right now with her menopause. She'll be under the covers 1 minute, she'll be throwing them off her the next minute, and she presses against me, and then she just all of a sudden there's a big sweat puddle behind my my back. I lay on my side, and I yeah. But we don't have to get into that nastiness. But yeah, lack of sleep can definitely affect your brain function. Hormonal changes uh, between the hormones progesterone and estrogen increase during pregnancy. This can change memory effect and cause short-term cognitive impairment. Menopause can cause forgetfulness, poor concentration, cloudy thinking. It's like, yeah, you're just 1 minute she's fine, next minute she's burning up, and yeah, see how that can affect your cognitive abilities. Diet can play a role in brain fog. Vitamin B12 supports healthy brain function. Uh, so the deficiency of B12 can affect cognitive function and bring about brain fog. Food allergies or sensitivities may develop brain fog after eating certain foods, especially things like aspartame, peanuts, or dairy. Remove any trigger foods that affect your brain that you notice afterwards. Again, it's always good to keep a journal. Keep track of any problems you have with anything. And then maybe one day you can design your whole life and diet and everything around the things that affect you, and hopefully if you have significant others and stuff, you don't have to feed them the stuff that's affecting you, because then it's in your face and you may want to sample it, nibble on it, whatever, and then you're just right back to where you were. That is the hard part about being with other people. It's like you kind of got to adapt food related items. If you eat together and stuff, you gotta adapt sleep related uh, things so you're not bothering each other in bed and stuff. Can't sleep because of something that the other one's doing or whatever. And there's so many different things you gotta take into consideration when you're living with other people. Uh, and it's hard to follow your own routine when you're also helping out people with their routines. And like, if you know, I took care of mom with her advanced dementia for 6 years, 24/7. Me and the wife lived with her, and yeah, it's once my evil family decided to put her in a home which she doesn't belong in. I just It makes me wish I was the only child, because I'd still be taking care of Ma to this day. But instead they put her in there, and I went from having to make 3 meals a day for mom, plus 2 snacks a day, usually something in between breakfast and lunch, something dinner, because she's a big snacker, but she's only 110 pounds. I don't understand. The family's fat and tall, and she's just a little thing, so not fair. But yeah, dementia doesn't matter what size or sex or what you are. It's just a shitty disease that, yeah, every 5 minutes her brain can refocus and constantly ask you who you are, what you Usually, a lot of times lately, when I go in to visit her, she thinks I'm her brother. And then I explained to her that I'm your youngest son. And she's like, "Oh, really?" And you think about cognitive stuff with that dementia and everything. One of the other ladies in the home gave her a little doll. She took the doll as a real being, so she started caring for it. And then, annoyingly, my family decided to give her. Every time something happens, they all got to give a million gifts of things. But they gave her a couple other dolls. So now she has three freaking dolls that she takes around and thinks they're real. And it's like, come on, people, don't amplify the issues, work around the issues. But they were all worried. Well, if the lady takes her doll back, mom will freak out. So we gotta make sure she's got her own doll. So now she has to have three. I mean, you couldn't just keep it with one. So yeah, that's weird. And then of course, every time I go see her, there's some old perv that's been making out with her because anytime he appears, she points at him. She's like, "He's my boyfriend. He kisses me all the time." I'm like, "What's going on with this guy?" And then my youngest sister called me this last week, and we talked for a long time. And she's like, "Well, what do you think about that guy that she's been talking about and kissing?" And I'm like, "I don't like him. He's always wandering around, never comes near us, but wanders around, like comes around corners and looks at the girls." But then, while my sister was there one day, she went outside and he walked outside too, which everybody I thought had ankle bracelets with alarms on them. And all of a sudden, he's got the hood of a car popped open. So it's like, does he just come there to visit people and then make out with my mom? It's like, and probably other girls there, ladies there. But yeah, I don't understand. But there again, cognitive issues. Mom's is dementia related, but very, very much similar in certain ways. And it's sad because she doesn't really know what's going on. She probably thinks of him as dad or similar to dad. And it's like, yeah, it's not what I want her at home with me. That's what I want. I don't want her in this freaking atmosphere. I mean, this is just not designed for mother. But what you gonna do? I just, I have no control. My oldest sister has had POA. I'm secondary, so I can't do nothing unless she loses her position or something. But I'm not happy with it. I do not. Mom's. I had mom's brain doing so much better before they decided to put her in a home, and now her brain's all going to mush again and just focusing on these stupid. She still does good during exercise class and game class. I'll go there for those type of activities, and she's usually helping the other ladies and stuff, and she's answering the stuff correctly and doing all the exercises good and to her full extent. So that's a good thing, other than her upper legs hurting. But using that walker now, and she kind of leans out on it, so it's bent over. And I wish people would work with her to get her to stand up more, upright more. But why should they do anything at the home? The workers. I mean, we're only paying 7,000 a month for her to be there. It's just so ridiculous. But enough of that. Get back to what we were talking about. Medications can cause brain fog, and after cancer treatments, you can have brain fog issues, chemo brain, they call that. Uh, Medical conditions associated with inflammation, fatigue, or changes in blood glucose levels can also cause mental fatigue. It's like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, uh, anemia, depression, diabetes, migraine, hypothyroidism. What the heck happened? Huh. Uh, Autoimmune diseases like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Jorgen's syndrome, multiple sclerosis, dehydration, COVID-19, all these things can enhance our brain fog and dysfunction. So careful with anything you're dealing with and always talk to your doctor. For some reason, my screen didn't fully form, so I can't read the rest of that article. But we can look at home remedies for, we started with the brain, so let's go to the feet. Do you deal with swollen feet at all? And it's like painless swelling of the feet or ankles is common and can happen for a variety of reasons. Causes of swollen feet may include staying on the feet too long, ill-fitting shoes, pregnancy, dietary factors, certain medical conditions. Uh, when fluid accumulates in the tissues, it's called edema. It usually resolves on its own. Some home remedies may reduce the swelling more quickly and increase your comfort. Some things you can try is make sure you're getting enough water. Uh, I know the key thing is have one glass of water with each meal and one glass of water between each meal. That should give you enough hydration to keep you going each day. You can always drink more if you're able to. I know later at night, don't want to drink so much because then you're in the bathroom all the time. Compression socks can help with it, but they can also hurt it. I do not like. I have a bunch of pairs of compression socks because I could get them for free, and I just replaced all my socks with those because my left leg is the lymphedema leg, so the left between the knee and the foot, that the left leg will puff up in the area and stuff and start to harden. But I gotta wrap it, do lymphedema wraps, and when I wrap it, it also wraps the foot because the foot puffs up too. Those wraps help quite a bit, and even if I just use them for a few days at a time, they'll be normal looking for a while, for a few days or so, and then they'll start if I don't keep wrapping them. But yeah, compression socks can help and they can hinder because they do tighten more around certain areas. So if like the top of the sock is right in the center of your calf and you have lymphedema issues with your calf, it's going to squeeze in and you're going to have that big indentation there. And it can get a little sore or painful from that too when it's cutting off certain areas. My head just, I dry scalp has been off the chart. Guessing it's because I've been trying to conserve water until I get my next water bill because I want to see how much it's costing us. All anybody talks about when they buy a place or have to pay the water bill at their place in town. But then I found out two other areas that we were looking at homes that have worse water bills than ours here, so I'm glad we didn't consider those ones. You can soak in a cool Epsom salt bath. They do have those foot machines that some of them have like a heat setting to warm up the water and stuff. Just fill the foot container with water halfway or whatever and put some Epsom salt in there to help draw out the toxins and increase your relaxation. Now that I'm thinking about it now, I wish we would have kept one. I had two of them for Ma up at the house. And when we cleaned out the house, I don't even know. Those must have just got thrown in the dumpster like everything else that I had to throw away. Throw me in the dumpster. Uh, I just uh, raise your feet, preferably above your heart. It's good if you got a recliner and you can sit with your feet up, but I can't because I have my rolling desk in front of me at all times. So I went with a different style chair instead of a recliner this time. So I don't get my feet up above my heart or up above and straight out much at all. But that does definitely help, especially with the puffiness. Uh, but you can always, when you're laying in bed or something, you can put your legs up on a pillow and stuff like that to help above your heart. If you can sleep comfortably on your back or something like that, I have to sleep on my right. Even my left side, I can lay on it for about 15 minutes to a half hour, and then the tinnitus ringing in the ears thing gets really loud when I lay on my left side. So that's not fun. And then if you lay on your left side, your bladder empties more into the bladder. So it makes me have to go to the bathroom quicker by laying on the left side. Move a little each hour. Don't just sit all day long or stand in one area all day long for a long period of time. Try and move around a little bit. Get that blood flowing. Uh, if you ever talk to your doctor, if you do have the lymphedema in your legs and stuff, they'll give you I think it's a 16 exercise program that they gave me that does focuses a lot on massage and flexibility, and you can do all the moves in your bed. I can't find my damn sheets because of the move, but I want to get back to doing it. I do some of the things, but I don't remember the order and all that. So that's why I want to find my sheets again. Hiccup burps. What the heck's going on here? Let's see if I can push it. But yeah, I was able to do all those exercises in bed, which is nice. So I'd start my morning off like with before I got out of bed. Just get it out of the way right away, and then you're kind of wakes you too, which is nice. Um, magnesium-rich foods and supplements may help with fluid retention, or yeah, with fluid retention, which can be a sign of magnesium deficiency. So you eat foods high in magnesium, they can help boost your magnesium levels. Some are almonds, cashews, spinach, potatoes, and brown rice. So, reduce your salt intake. Salt can block water from leaving your system and stuff. Uh, and if you do have high sodium intake, you are more likely to have leg swelling. Manage your weight. Uh, that'll also help with edema issues. Massage your feet to get the lymphedema fluids and stuff flowing through those areas. Massage your legs. Also, just to get it all, there is a whole lymph lymph fluid generator type thing in our system that goes throughout our whole body, and some of the main areas are neck, shoulders, the sides, the legs, the groin, the feet, all that stuff. So yeah, a good old fashioned massage doesn't hurt. So I feel like you got a little chunk of hair there that needs to be trimmed. uh, you can increase your intake of potassium-rich foods because potassium deficiency can contribute to high blood pressure and water retention. So things like dried apricots, lentils, acorn squash, potatoes, kidney beans, and orange juice. Things you can consider when you get your orange juice. Don't buy concentrate, buy non-concentrate, because otherwise you're just really bad sugars. Either way, you're drinking sugar. But always check with your doctor, see what they have to say, your medical staff. See if they can give you any suggestions, help you out. Uh, this person, yeah, they're just explaining their experience with medications. How medications can change your perception of pain. Uh, it's their meditation. They're talking about using meditation to manage their pain, and that's a thing that I am a big proponent of. Anytime I'm in pain, I'll basically close my eyes or put a blanket over my head or something and just go into meditation mode if I'm sitting around other people and stuff. Otherwise, if I can, I'll go somewhere and do some meditation. I miss our old place. Go sit up on the hill, take the walker up on the hill, and just sit up there and meditate. That was always nice and enjoyable. I wish I could have got to do that some more before we had to move out. But when you're given 6 weeks and you got stuff piled up that you haven't seen in 10 years, it's a lot of work. But I got it all to the storage shed. We found a place to live. We moved out, did all that, and now as of last week, I got the storage shed done and emptied, and everything's here. But now I got a 2.5 car garage full of crap I got to eventually bring in the house. But we still got painting to do and all that, and trying to get handrails up and steps put up, everything. So that'll take a while. But yeah, anytime I am in a lot of pain and stuff, I'll go into meditation mode. Just basically, it's best to close your eyes and focus on your own happy place. My happy place is a tiny little hut shack in this, surrounded by mountains in this little cubby hole that has a waterfall coming down into two ponds. It drops to one pond, and then there's another little drop down to another pond. My little hut's just up on the hill by the first pond. And I got the little creek that runs through, so I got fishing ability there. And then I'm secluded and away from everybody in my little happy place. Whoever I want to be in my happy place with. I just focus on that type of environment and just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just focus on that breathing. Anytime the mind wanders, just go right back to your breathing. Don't worry about it. Almost everybody has their mind wander for a good majority of the time until you get into a good routine with your meditation. But it just meditation's helped out. And when I'm breathing in, I imagine that there's like this bright aura around me. And when you breathe in, it's a healing aura that you're breathing into your body. So I'll think about an area in my body. It's like doing the little chakras and stuff like that. Start with your head, your nose, your neck, your stomach, your legs, your arms. I just go body part to body part throughout your body. And then when I breathe out, I imagine that there's the bad stuff is coming out. So you're breathing in the good, letting out the bad, and just focus on those painful. And it's done wonders for me. Could be all subliminal, could all be BS. I don't know. But I was supposed to die, when I was supposed to bleed to death internally, when I was in the ICU at the Mayo Clinic for 2 weeks, I didn't look at it like I was going to die. I just focused the whole time. I didn't sleep for 3 days. I started to hallucinate. Read my last rites, all that stuff. Uh, and I just focused on that. And next thing I know, they put me in a regular room. And then a few days later, they let me go home. It's like, for some reason, the area that they could not fix, they could not cut me open and sew up the inside of my aorta where the hole ripped open, and the blood, it was bleeding out there. The doctor said it's an area you can't operate on. It's not going to hold anything that you put there. You're going to basically bleed to death, and we'll make your stay as comfortable as possible. It's like, gee, thanks. By day 3, I was trying to find a way to sneak out of the hospital and walk home, which would have been it's like a 6-hour car drive, so that would have been a long walk, hospital gown, butt hanging out naked. It's but the whole time, I just did my meditation as much as I could, focused on the areas that hurt, and all they did was constantly give me morphine, stuff like that. Uh, then one late nurse got mad at me because they were giving me fluids, and the fluids were making me pee every 15 minutes. So I'd constantly be getting up and down, and then my IVs started loosening up and all that. It's like, oh hell, I can't help it. So then they put a catheter in. It's like, we're not letting you get up out of bed anymore. It's like, well, gee, thanks. I can't even go look out a window outside. I'm gonna be dead in a few days. It's like, yeah. So, but it worked for me. I believe highly in meditation. Uh, See, gaining some muscle so you're stronger, possibly easier for our bodies if we have more muscle. I don't know, it's so hard to explain muscular pain with MS. I know people that were in really good shape, people that were really out of shape, and how it affected them. And they were both affected pretty similarly as far as pain wise and that. But skeletal muscles are a series of parallel cylindrical fibers that contract to produce force. This muscle contraction allows all external human movement to occur. Your body is constantly renewing and recycling the amino acids or protein building blocks in your muscles. You'll lose muscle mass if your body removes more protein than it adds. Uh, the key to building muscle is to increase the protein deposition rate while minimizing the muscle protein breakdown rate. Uh, this process is known as muscle hyper, hypertrophy, and it's a primary goal of resistance training. Uh, Several factors that drive the muscle building process includes hormones like testosterone and growth hormones, and the availability of amino acids and other nutrients. So you can have issues with your body that could be affecting muscle mass also. To To build new muscle tissue, you should do performing resistance training and getting sufficient amounts of protein would be good. Stuff like that. Let's see. They talk about repetition, performing reps and stuff like that, or 1 to 5 reps develops more strength, 8 to 12 reps develops more muscle growth, 15 plus reps develops more muscular endurance. Uh, choose your weights and stuff carefully. Listen to your body. Build up slowly. Don't try and force things because then if you injure your body and stuff, then you're laid up for a few days to a week or whatever, and then you got to start all over again. So it's best to be careful. Take your time in the beginning and let your body build up to it. Don't listen to it. And once it starts to fatigue, stop. Come back a little later, do some more. And you don't have to worry about focusing on beating your body to death. You got to be nice to your body, and it'll be nice to you as much as possible. The gain muscle is possible using all repetition ranges, and some people may respond better to lower or higher repetitions with heavier or lighter weights, respectively. Include compound and isolation movements in your program. Uh, Eating for muscle gain requires sufficient protein and calorie intakes to drive growth. Avoid eating more than 300 to 500 extra calories per day to minimize gains in body fat. Because fat just takes over the muscle. And then if you let your muscle break down, then it's gonna turn all the fat. But gain muscle takes time and is limited to 0.5 to 2 pounds per per month in adult males, or 0.25 to zero point 0.9 kilograms. But yeah, definitely work with someone. Have if you can work it out with physical therapy, that would probably be your best shot. That way they can teach you some stuff. There are 30-day muscle gain plans you can look up online and stuff and see what kind of workouts they offer. See if it's stuff that you can do, and just talk to your medical staff about it, see if it's good for you or not. Let's see, we got lipodermatosclerosis. What is it? Lipodermatosclerosis is a chronic inflammatory condition characterized by subcutaneous fibrosis and hardening of the skin on the lower leg. It is also known as sclerosing paniculitis and hypodermitis sclerodermiformis. People that can get this is middle-aged or older people. It's more common in women and is associated with immobility and high body mass index. Uh, Things that can cause it is incompetent venous valves or venous, yeah, venous outflow obstruction and dysfunction of the calf muscle pump. Uh, the acute lipodermatosclerosis may mimic cellulitis with induration, erythema, pain, itch, aching, and a feeling of swelling or heaviness in one or more, often both lower limbs. Mine's mainly on the left. The right one puffs up a little, but nothing like the left. Signs may be localized to a single plaque, but are usually more widespread. The most commonly affected areas are the pretibial or medial aspect of the legs. Uh, but yeah, I would definitely see your doctor, get into some lymphotype treatment. Uh, they can do a biopsy, but it should be performed with caution because you could have poor wound healing. Uh, some subcutaneous lobular and septal changes include adipocyte necrosis, pseudocyst formation, lipomembranous fatty tissue change, macrophage collections forming lipogranulomas, a nodule of inflamed fat cells around a foreign body, iron deposition, uh, different diagnoses for lipodermatosclerosis can include cellulitis, erythema nodosum, other causes of paniculitis, morphoia, localized scleroderma, cutaneous vasculitis, necrobiosis lipoedema. It's I know I'm saying a lot of those wrong. Treatments can be like compression therapy, physical activity, and walking. If you're just starting out with it and stuff, may help. Medical treatments. There's a quite a few different things that they can try, like vein therapies and stuff, uh, vein surgery. There's lots of different ways that they can attack that situation. So definitely find out, have a little test done, find out through your medical staff what's best for you to try and get tested for and see what happens. I'm very glad I did it. I went in and she showed me how to wrap and all that stuff and gave me those exercises. We went, I think we lost 18 inches at the maximum point for my left leg and 13 inches on my right leg from doing it. And you don't notice that it's that big unless you're doing the wraps and all that. And sometimes you just don't notice how bad it is. Let's see some knee stretches and exercises for pain relief. Let's see. We basically know the reasons why we got pains. We know things that are beneficial for us. Yeah, I'm just gonna name off these ones. You can look them up and check them yourself. But you got a quadriceps stretch, a calf stretch, a hip abduction, a squat, the wall, good old wall slide where you're standing against the wall and you slide down like you're sitting but you're against the wall, the lateral hip and thigh stretch, uh, some exercises for osteoarthritis knee pain or like standing leg slide, the hamstring stretch, some tips for maintaining knee health would be moving about and taking regular exercise, doing low impact exercise such as swimming or walking if recovering from knee pain, using a knee wrap or bandage for extra support, wearing shoes that offer proper support during physical activity, doing warm up and cool down stretches before and after exercises, increasing exercise intensity gradually. Uh, yeah, it's like they have to prevent knee injuries. You can do things like running drills, such as zigzag running and changing directions, core strength exercises such as the plank, lunges, And then any other type of knee strengthening exercises you can come up with. For relief of the pain, you can get non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs. To reduce the swelling, you can apply a warm compress unless the knee injury is new. Following the Rice method, rest, ice, compression, and elevating the knee may benefit people in rehab for acute injuries. But yeah, if you have any severe pain, swelling, no improvement, inability to move the knee or put weight on it, knee locks or clicks painfully or gives away, you should definitely seek help. Not like they're helping me. Mine gives away. It's got no ACL on my knees. I got no meniscus. I'm bone on bone. I got bone chips everywhere. Can't even stand at the sink to wash my hands or deal with my teeth or anything like that without my legs locking up so bad and painful that I can't. I gotta fight with them to break the leg loose so I can move it again. It's very painful. So I'm not important enough. But yeah, that was enough stuff to talk about today. Basically, head to toes. Talked about our brains, talked about our feet, talked about our knees, and everything in between. Coffee's starting to get cold. A few sips left, but I don't feel like sipping on cold coffee today. But yeah, other than that, take care. Have a wonderful week. Shit out of the monster. Don't let them get out of control. Keep falling under the call of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes. Leave a comment. I'll comment back. And we'll be back with another one of these next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye.